Hello and welcome back to the Pit Wall Podcast, where today we are breaking down the Las Vegas Grand Prix, a race where
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion!
4 times in a row. But more importantly, Mercedes went 1 freaking 2.
More importantly.
I didn't call it necessarily, but I'm the only one that believed.
Yeah,
I'm the only one that believed that anything good could happen.
I had to tell you that you were correct.
He did text me.
You called it on the cold weather.
He texted me and said that it's going to work. I was right. So anyway, before we get too much into this, be sure to like, subscribe, follow at the Pitwall Pod. We're both very excited. You know what I was thinking during the race?
Yeah.
There's a sports team that we also follow that may or may not have lost in a brutally bad fashion a couple hours before this race.
Yes.
And you know what I thought? I thought me getting a 1-2 and Dawson getting Max winning is what we both need right now.
That's true.
Well,
because when that happened,
Max
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, me too. I went to bed happy that night, and normally I would have wanted to kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, you know what? We all deserve this.
Yeah.
This is like a harmonious moment of us all feeling good about
for sure
everything.
what we needed.
I mean, I guess Max winning would have been like your ultimate thing, like winning the race and winning the championship at the same time.
Yeah.
But this was enough.
Sure.
He got the interviews. He got everything. So, like, for the most part.
Dude, seeing Max do his like post-race interviews throughout the
and just get more and more drunk.
Progressively more and more drunk was amazing.
You know what? I respect his lack of caring. Like, I respect his, like, I am going to be me. Yeah. Also, just got to say, his logo is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
His
dude.
M form.
Dude, my gosh. The hat sold out like within an hour.
Oh, I know.
On his website.
I know. Because
I wanted to get one and they were gone.
Yeah. There's like a list that you can get on to get notified from Red Bull when they have it.
Yeah.
But like, I just love that they brought it and had it ready.
I know, dude.
It's pretty awesome.
It is sick.
And he's has the helmet and the shoes and all that stuff. So
dude,
he's going to be going hard the next couple races.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, well, let's get into qualifying in 6D real fast because it was Vegas and stuff is crazy. So just going into it, Mercedes is in 1-2 for the entire weekend, basically at every practice, except for the third one where Lewis's final lap got compromised. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to go into qualifying with less hope. I was trying, but I had a lot of hope.
Yeah.
I had like a little bit. I kind of was really excited all day for it. So
that's funny.
Here we go.
But that's nice.
Actually, did not qualify last this time with Zhou Guan Yu. Lance Stroll P20 because he didn't really get to do much because he crashed. He had trouble. Valtteri Bottas P19, Albon 18, Alonso 17, and good old Checo P16. Liam Lawson beat him as well in P15.
Yeah, he did.
Colapinto beat him in 14, but maybe worst of all was Zhou Guan Yu in 13. Speedy Zhou Guan Yu. K-Mag in P12, Ocon in P11, and then this is where it starts to hurt. Lewis Hamilton basically didn't even set a time. He set a time 15 seconds slower than everybody else to get 10th. Hülkenberg 9th, Oscar Piastri 8th. Bad weekend for McLaren overall. Yuki 7th, also beat Checo. Lando Norris P6, Max only P5, Leclerc P4, Gasly P3, Sainz P2, and your boy George Russell on pole. And boy, did I need this weekend. Boy, I'm at peace now. Like, I'm gonna be sad, but like if it goes horribly wrong after this, like I'm at peace now.
Yeah, at least it's not that bad for you.
Yeah. So I'm overall like feeling pretty good. So this race was kind of an interesting situation for everybody in it, I would say. I think a lot of people had pretty good races, and I think also a lot of people had really bad races. So I'm cool to start with whoever you feel like you want to start with. I mean,
we talked about Max already, so I can tell you about the disappointment that is Checo Perez.
Yep.
He finished P10. So Red Bull, you got one in a championship, and then one that is not, or even close to a championship.
He did come back from P16.
But still.
Yeah, I know.
But still.
I'm just trying. My favorite thing of the whole weekend was when Checo got out of qualifying and they put him doing thumbs down on the sphere.
On the sphere, dude.
That's no chill. That's no chill at all.
Dude, oh, God. Red Bull is fumbling freaking harder than quarterbacks on a Sunday evening.
Oh my gosh. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful analogy. So I mean Checo didn't do great. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just not. We're just not even talking about it.
Yeah,
I think they're
we're
keeping.
past the point.
I think they're keeping Checo. I'm just gonna keep it real. I think they're keeping Checo because I think they would have fired him sooner if they could have, and I think there's a reason they can't. Official prediction.
Yeah.
They're keeping Checo at least through the first 6 races next year, which is where he always does great. So I'm sure he'll get a contract extension at Miami.
God, don't put that on me.
Oh my God. Okay. So, all right, let's talk about McLaren.
Yeah.
McLaren did not have a great weekend, in my opinion. Obviously, championship rival Lando Norris. He finished in P6.
Yeah. Piastri was right behind him at P7. So.
Another weekend where he just didn't overtake anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Lando started and finished in 6th. I mean, I don't know. He's just not, he's continually not impressing me. All right. Well, next thing, let's talk about Ferrari because that's kind of where the championship interest is still. So Leclerc got P4, but he seemed pretty upset with the team. Do you want to talk about that and a little bit where Carlos?
Yeah. So I don't know everything about it, but from what I've kind of just pieced together over everything that I've seen in the interviews, Leclerc feels like he is not getting prioritized within the team when he's kind of just when he thinks and has kind of shown that he's been the better driver between the two recently.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So he's had team orders and he's always said yes. He's never, he'll give up a spot for a teammate. And he said he's been Mr. Nice Guy, but he's effing tired of it.
And he said, his message was pretty bad.
He was yelling this.
I'm just wondering how he's going to handle if they prioritize Lewis, which I
they
don't.
Will.
I mean,
100%
for the money, you kind of have to, right?
For sure.
So,
and especially, if they're in the same car,
Lewis should theoretically beat him.
Yeah.
Maybe not right away, but over time for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know, man. It might be good enough to where you can.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty tense. I will say, I want to mention something. Carlos Sainz, they were calling him into the box, and then he went out and crossed the pit line, and it didn't even get noted.
Yeah.
Nothing. And Lewis Hamilton crossed the line on pit exit at Saudi Arabia this year and got a 10-second time penalty.
Yeah, I figured you would talk about that.
What?
I think it should be the same as Lewis's at least.
Yeah. Maybe the pit entry is a little different.
Yeah, so what happened was they called in Carlos to box, and then kind of like has happened before, they screamed at him to stay out right as he's entering the pit lane start or the pit entrance. So he had time to get out, but he still crossed the line to get back onto the track, which should be a penalty.
Yeah, there were several
drivers. Or at least a notation, like you said.
Yeah. Team something.
Yeah.
I believe Yuki also maybe got another a 10-second penalty at some point, and he also got penalty points on his license. So it's just inconsistent. I will say this has to be a direct result of the race director change because they were asking Karun during the race. They said, were there anything in the race director's notes? And he said, I don't know. Does that make sense? So I don't know, man. It should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
But I'm glad for Ferrari it wasn't. I mean, because with a 5-second penalty, he would have finished behind Max. So, it would have been close. Yeah, he would have finished behind Max by 0.3 seconds. Again, assuming he doesn't overtake him or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. So there was a lot of teams that actually had radio trouble. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah. Stroll didn't have it
Stroll
for the entire
had no
race.
Yeah. And that guy needs guidance. So, and then Ocon, I believe, also came through the pit.
He had issues.
And then he just basically did a drive-through penalty essentially because they weren't ready for him.
Yeah.
So pretty wild. So, and speaking of Ocon, let's talk about Gasly real fast.
Yeah.
Gasly's car exploded, caught on fire, and the theory is he actually drove too fast for the Renault engine. And the Renault engine was like, whoa, hold on. This is fast enough for a podium.
Well,
that's not good. No, but in all seriousness, there's some data that suggests that in the slipstream, his car hit too high of revs and it caused it to explode.
Yep.
So, which explains why it exploded and then stopped. Because I thought that was quite odd. You don't normally see an engine puff smoke and then just stop. It's just like smoke, fire,
boom,
bad. Yeah. So,
it was Yuki's slipstream.
Can't follow Yuki.
So,
Yuki, if you want to talk about Yuki.
Yeah. Well, actually, you have Yuki.
Yeah, I have Yuki.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, like, did you want to talk about Yuki? Yuki finished in the points. Yuki finished at the points. P9 ahead of Checo.
Also ahead of Lawson.
Yeah.
Finished P16.
Yeah, what'd you think about Lawson's race?
It's not
great.
good.
No.
It's not good because Yuki's kind of been doing what he said he did, like 2 weeks back when he says they keep putting me against teammates and I keep dominating them and then they kick them to the curb.
Well, Lawson qualified in 15th.
Yeah,
So,
and then dropped a place.
Yeah, not
great. This is not what I was hoping for Lawson because, dude, like I mean, you know, I've been saying he deserves a Red Bull seat. Like, it didn't show this week.
Well,
Yuki did.
The biggest miracle of the Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend was the fact that Lawson, Checo, and K-Mag went into a corner 3 wide that only 2 cars could fit in, and none of them crashed. They didn't even touch.
Yeah.
No contact. The 3 of those people didn't touch at all. That's like gotta be a world record. It's gotta be. Like, I was like, when they went in, I was like, because at the time, I believe I was hoping for a safety car because I think Lewis was leading at this point, and I was hoping for a safety car.
Do you remember who was in what position inside, middle, and out?
No, I don't. I believe the Haas was in the lead initially, and then Checo almost pulled a double overtake, but didn't.
Gotcha.
It was insane.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bad. So, yeah. But anyway, they survived. So I will say,
thankfully,
yeah,
they survived.
Yeah, no kidding. Hulkenberg P8 got points.
Magnussen P12, so not
but,
the points.
Haas is now up to 6th in the standings again,
which is crazy.
50 points. They're 1 point clear of Alpine. So, I mean, Alpine's one miracle already happened. So,
yeah, that's fair.
But RB is 46. So this is tight going to the end. I'm
hoping Yuki and Lawson can like somehow get double points next weekend.
It's possible.
Yeah, I think they can do it. It's just it's
sprint
gonna be
race
tough.
weekend.
Yeah. Dude, rough weekend for the rookies.
Yeah.
Scalapinto P14.
Yeah.
Freaking
Also
crashing.
massive crash.
Yeah. Like a dangerous crash. Like
50G impact.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he raced personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, I trust the medical professionals, but I heard he had a concussion. I was like,
they said he was examined twice by 2 different people that both cleared him. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got to trust
you're a
him.
Tua fan, so
yeah. Well,
you want him to play.
Hey, he sat out. He sat out a long time.
Yeah, he did. He did. I'm just messing with you.
Hey, Colapinto didn't come out like this. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I got to joke about it before you cry. Albon did also not have a miraculous weekend. I wouldn't say. So, he did not classify. He did not finish. I don't even remember why, to be honest, because it was so like bad that they had some sort of like engine-ish overheating issue, and they didn't really say why. They speculated that it was from like a plastic bag or something, which was happening, but they never specifically said why, at least at the time of recording.
Yeah, I
tried to look it up earlier today, and I couldn't find anything. They just said something with engine overheating. So unless, like I said, unless there's more information, that's as much as I know. So
I don't see nothing.
How did Joe end up doing? Starting in the points.
Joe finished.
Did you get a point?
Wait,
you didn't get a point.
Sorry, my Joe disappeared.
Well,
on my notes, but
he never showed up. He got P13.
There you go. Yeah, P13.
Hey, that's P13 though. That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's pretty good for a little Joe. So, he's got the resume now for a water boy for a reserve driver. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think the only team we haven't talked about is we talked about Stroll like a little bit because he didn't have radio.
He finished P15.
And then Alonso did not have a spectacular race either. So he had P11, but I mean, almost a point.
Yeah,
but
not.
I mean, he was 6 seconds behind Checo.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah,
overall. Also, forgot to mention, I believe it was K-Mag did a 1-stop and everybody else did a 2. So that's pretty impressive. But he still didn't.
I was about to say, even though he finished.
Well, of course, we got to talk about the absolute masterclass that was Lewis Hamilton's drive. He completely whether it's his fault or not, bottled qualifying. But I just had this feeling it was going to be okay. I didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
He said he had more fun this way. Like his just chucking fastest laps, just constant. It reminded me of Max in Brazil. Yeah, but not as I will say not as impressive though. I will give Max the credit.
Oh,
okay. But Lewis was freaking flying, dude. I tell you, man, you give him a car that's even remotely in the range, he's like, I don't know, like a pig with a carrot. Like he's like, oh my gosh, it's time. I can drive finally. And like, there's all this crap talking going into the weekend of like things certain people said. And all the Lewis fans that are like on Twitter are like total Wolf haters at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not at that point. I mean, I'm still wearing the Mercedes shirt. So, yeah, dude. But I was just, I needed to see that.
I think he was a lot more Ferrari fans next year.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, that's for sure. Everybody's a Ferrari fan. George Russell also threw down a different kind of masterclass. He did have to defend at one point against Leclerc very hard, and I was very scared because I know how this goes.
Yeah.
But Russell just threw down, absolutely brilliant race. I mean, controlled his pace, was able to build up a stop, got a stop before Lewis the first time and after Lewis the second time, and had enough fresh tires to when Lewis got even remotely close, he started matching Lewis's lap times, had 6 laps better of tires, and just completely flew away.
Yeah.
So, Russell was so excited. It was just, I don't know. It was just really cool. It was really cool to see him on the podium again. So, but yeah, man, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, great race. I mean, really just what I needed. And I just love that they're both like, we have no idea why this happened. And I feel that. I have a couple guesses. I think the weather really helped.
Yeah.
I will say they had to ride the car higher than optimal, which is usually the problem. Mm-hmm. But there's this weird, interesting thing that happened at the beginning of the weekend that I'm theorizing might have had something inadvertently to do with it. Mm-hmm. There was a new rule that came out that Red Bull protested something about the plank of the car on a couple different people's car. They had to remove it. And I'm like, was that the key? Like, did removing that inadvertently actually solve some problem?
Yeah.
Could be. I'm not an aerodynamicist. I just read these things and I'm just like, this could have something to do with it. Mercedes claim they know why. They've not claimed they can replicate it. They're just claiming they know why. So that could be, it was cold. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see if I think they can pull it off again.
Yeah.
But give me your biggest winner and loser of this race. I just don't want you to say Max. You can say it. That's fine.
No, it's fine. I mean, my personal winner is going to be Max Verstappen. But actually, just for this race, if I'm not counting in the World Championship, which Lewis does not have, I will give Lewis the win of this race.
Oh, Lewis, not George.
Not George, no,
okay.
Because Lewis came back and nearly, he's a few seconds behind, but still, like, just his drive alone, like, George won, but like,
people walked away talking about how good
Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis drove a lot better, in my opinion.
All right, loser.
Loser is,
it's kind of tough to give a loser. I'm gonna be honest,
dude. Probably Williams right now, actually.
Yeah,
because like they've just been in the gutter for a minute now.
Yeah, it's
just been problem after problem, wreck after wreck. Like, dude, they didn't even think they were going to be racing this weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Winner, I'm going to give the Mercedes, and I'm going to give it to them not only because they got a 1-2, but because nobody believed in them. Like, every commentator you tune into, who's going to get pole? They're never in the conversation.
Yeah.
If anything, it's an afterthought.
Yeah.
They'll talk about how Max, Lando, and Leclerc are going to fight for it, and they'll go, and Mercedes sometimes, ha ha ha, and it's like we showed you, like we're still here, like we have problems, but we've won 4 races this year, like that's a significant number. If I told myself this time last year that Mercedes is going to win 4 races next year, I would have laughed. I was like, no way, right? So, and we even kind of had another one too, even though George got disqualified. Yeah. But I really think it only cost Lewis the win, so it doesn't really make a difference. So. Loser, I'll give it to Gasly. He did have something bad happen to him, but I don't think it counts against his destructors because he didn't cause the damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, So that's who I'll give it to. So, I mean, that's about it. We got Qatar coming up. We got 2 races left. It's getting crazy. It's almost over. Big championships still left to win. The actual championship of Formula One is constructors at the end of the day, but more people care about drivers.
For sure.
So it's like a weird mix.
Yeah.
So that's it. Subscribe, like, follow at the Pitwell Pod, and we'll check you on the next one.
See you next time.